Live from the porch. Live from the porch. I was planning on. I've been out and about all day. So I said, nah, I gotta sit on my porch and sit outside, smoke. I'm like the countryest LA nigga you'd ever want to meet. I'm a barbecue grilling, porch sitting, weed smoking, on the porch ass nigga. I'm drinking on some Douce right now, some yak. I'm sipping on yak and ginger ale. And at the same time, I'm fourth generation LA, nigga. What up, Peter? What up, Evan? It looked like YouTube is halfway sending out notifications on time this time. My last 2 or 3 videos, it was like 2 niggas in here watching for the first 10 minutes. And then at the 10-minute mark, everybody came flooding in. Thank you, YouTube. But I'm gonna have appreciation. Thank you, YouTube, for getting it right this time. Dude name is Hood Wrestling. What the fuck is Hood Wrestling? What you niggas doing? Wrestling on old mattresses? Hey, yo, man, you see that alley over there on 125th Street? Yeah, it's 2 mattresses back in that alley. We gonna have a wrestling match. What up, Emmanuel? What's up, Blaine? What up, Star? You sipping on some rosé? Me and the wife went up to wine country. We didn't go to our regular wine country. We went up to Ojai. I got a winery up there that I'm a member of in Ojai, California. I love it up there. We drove home down PCH. Took the long way home. If you plan on getting married, fellas, that's how you stay married. You gotta have fun, man. If you want to get married to somebody and you want to have a good marriage, a good life, make sure you have fun. One of the biggest issues I see with a lot of marriages is at some point, people stop having the fun they had when they got together, you know? And if I read your relationship and y'all composite, funny part about like reading cards, when I get that composite card, I can tell your whole relationship. Like if you have a 6 of hearts composite card, that means y'all probably fucked on the first date. Y'all was loving each other, getting it in. The attraction was heavy physically. Thought you was gonna be with her forever. Then with the 6 of heart relationship, at some point it slows down and it gets real slow. And you be like, I hate that motherfucker. And you probably gonna break up. And then once you get back together, then y'all gonna get married. Happens all the time in 6 of hearts relationships. Start off fast, slow down, break up, get back together, live happily ever after. What's up, Mark? But y'all better have fun with your loved one, man. What is it? You got some of that ice cream cake? Yeah, that's some good ass weed right there. What's up, Courtney G? Yeah, me and the wife, we went to wine country today. Left wine country, went down PCH, took the long way home. Stopped and took pictures. I like smoking weed on the rocks on the coast. That's the beautiful thing about going down Pacific Coast Highway. You can just pull over and stop, sit on the rocks, pull out some weed, and just smoke some weed to the waves crashing. I love doing that shit, boy. I do that at night sometime. I go out there and sit on the beach, especially if it's like a full moon and the moon is reflecting off the light off the water. Shit. Yeah, what's up, Dominique? Yeah, we gonna get to what we talking about, because here's what we talking about. Can black men handle sports? Basketball, really basketball specifically. Football too. Really basketball and football. Can black men handle sports and empowerment at the same time. I'm not gonna spend too much time looking at the chat while I'm getting my thoughts off, because if I look at the chat, it's a guarantee one of y'all gonna say something stupidly funny and it's gonna throw my train of thought off. Or somebody's gonna ask a really good question and I'm gonna go into answering that question and not getting back to what I originally intended to say. So for that reason, I'm not gonna be looking at the chat room until I finish my stream of consciousness. But y'all feel free to chat to each other and say what you gotta say. It's just that if you say something to me and I don't say nothing back, it's not that I'm ignoring you. It's just that a lot of times you niggas in the chat room be saying some funny shit and that be throwing me off. I'm silly, I'm goofy, I start laughing. I laugh too easy. Like, I got that from my sister and my mom. Me and my sister, I probably call my sister at least every other day or no more than every third day. And sometimes our phone conversations be like 45 seconds long. Like I'll call her and like just drop a line from Trading Places and we'll laugh and then we'll hang up. Or she'll call me and drop a line from Martin and then we'll laugh and hang up. Like today, I called my sister and I was like, Duke and Duke. Then she said, "Hey, Mortimer." We fell out laughing. And that's all I said to my sister today. That shit was funny. Then my wife was in the car. My wife just shook her head. My wife was like, "Oh, you the silliest niggas I ever met in my life." I'm silly as hell. So with that being said, yeah, I'm silly much like me and my sister's favorite movie. One of our favorite movies is Nothing But Trouble. I don't know if y'all remember that movie. It was a cult classic. Came out like back in 1991. Like Dan Aykroyd, Chevy Chase, Demi Moore, John Candy, Digital Underground. Tupac was in it. Me and my sister know that whole movie word for word, line for line. So like yesterday, my sister called me and she said, "Too much, too easy, too soon." That was a line from Nothing But Trouble when he was with Bobo and Little Devil, them two fat ass hogs. He said, "Too much, too easy, too soon." Me and my sister laughed for like 2 minutes and then I hung up on her. But so we talking about I'm telling you another thing. My sister was so goddamn. My sister saw my tweet with the picture of me and Tashina Arnold. Man, my sister was like, "Yo!" She was so happy because that's all we did as kids was watch Martin. Like me and my sister to this day will act out. We used to act out scenes to Martin, like for real, for real. Like that episode of Martin when the midgets came on. Remember the Christmas episode of Martin? When the two midgets came out and was dancing. If I see my sister, we will bust out in that dance the two midgets was doing on Martin. Speaking of midgets, do I got any midget followers? If press number 1 if you a midget. I don't want to talk over your head. I want to know, do I got any midgets that subscribe to the show? Any nigga out there that's 3'9", let me know. Nigga say, "I really hoop." You ain't no midget hooper. Sit your ass down, nigga. Well, midgets can't dribble the ball between their legs. Get caught on their knees. Shit. Hell yeah, I remember that show, South Central. Yeah, midgets, boy. I just want to know if I have any midget followers, if it's any midgets that's coming to watch us later on, no offense to you midgets. No offense to you at all. But that episode of Martin, the other episode of Martin when Tommy got knocked out by that midget, by Bushwick Bill, That shit was funny as fuck too. When Tommy got knocked out by Bushwick Bill, and then Tommy got on his knees, and Martin was like, "I don't think you need to be doing that, partner." Like, that's how your ass ended up knocked out the first time. That shit was funny. Frank Green said, "Little people, no. Let's clear that up. A little person is a grown man under 5'6". That's a little person. A dude that's 5'5", that's a little person. Let's get clarity to this. Just like thick is a woman that has a big booty and big titties. Her fat lies in her booty and her legs and her titties. That's thick. Fat is when they come in shaped like a peanut M&M. When they got little titties, little booty, and a big belly, that's fat. That ain't thick. Like Lizzo. Lizzo ain't thick. She's fat. Same thing with midgets. Midgets is niggas who got big ass heads and little ass limbs. That's a midget. Let's not confuse that with a little person. A little person is a grown man that's 5'3". Niggas, if you're a grown man and you need to hop up on a bar stool, you're a little person. Oh, that Hashitashi 2000 episode? Yeah. A little person, little people can put their elbows up on a bar and rest their chin on their hands when they at the bar. That's a little person. A midget needs a step stool to get up to the bar. That's the difference. Oh yeah, Marcus is a little dude. Yeah, Marcus short. But one thing about Marcus from 5150, Marcus got a man's personality. So, yeah, Marcus is short, but Marcus got a man's personality. When you got a man's personality, you can get away with being short. But if you short and small-minded, that's a problem. But if you short and you got a man's personality, you good. You still a little person, but you good. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Just have a man's personality if you're going to be a little nigga. That's all. Don't get mad at me because I'm 6'2". Shit. I think little dudes be mad because when they walk around all day, all they smell is nut sacks. They smell ass cracks and nut sacks. That's why they be mad all the time. I think about these little ass niggas. These little ass niggas be nose level with armpits and only about 13 inches. And their nose is only about 9 inches above ass cracks. Their noses is 9 to 15 inches above the ass crack and 0 to 2 inches from the armpits. That's why midget niggas and little niggas are so angry all the goddamn time. They in the zones of humanly foul odors. You dig? Nah, me and Corey at the same height. I'm 6'2". Me and Corey at the same height. Corey's 6'2" like me. He may be 6'3". Corey 6'1", 6'2". Me and Corey about the same height. So I said, all right, let's say, I know I've been running your mouth. Okay, moderator's timestamp. 15-minute mark. 15-minute mark. It's at 14:36 now, but at the 15-minute mark is going to be the mark that I start talking about our subject today. We're going to be talking about can black men handle sports and empowerment? Yeah, Gumbo, yeah, Corey might be 6'1", 6 feet. He might be. But the thing about Corey has a dominant personality. So although Corey might be 6 feet, 6'1", he can come off to you at 6'5" because he has a very dominant personality. You know? But, so, I know we have a brand in New York, Legion of Knicks, man, but shit, I ain't my decision. I want to get to New York, but if the show was Dwan Facts, we probably would have been there, but it ain't. I don't make the decisions. Craig busy as hell. Craig got all kind of other shit going on, so when Craig get the time to do it, he have us up there in New York. But the brother, man, got sketches and shit he be doing and running all kind of other. Craig got a lot of dope shit going on. But anyway, can black men handle sports? Can black men handle sports and empowerment? And so far, the answer has been no. So far, the answer has been no. Let me set the grounds as to why. Excuse me, that was a good hit. I'm talking about this. I'm talking about this because I used to have a show called Sports and Things on the Blog Talk Radio. It wasn't consistent. It didn't last long. It was me, Larry, and a former NBA scrub. And I liked doing it, but I stopped doing it, well, partially because some bullshit happened with it. But outside of the bullshit that happened with it, I got tired of talking sports because I realized black men care too fucking much about basketball emotionally. Even more so than football. Niggas love football too. But there are no football players that black men really worship like that. Basketball? Niggas worship LeBron James. It's like for real. Like that's a real thing. And I've said it before on this channel. It's the marketing that did it. Remember, go back to LeBron James' rookie season when he came in. King James, word association. Let's go back. Some of y'all that's here with me regularly, y'all done heard this before. Everyone else, take a seat. Word association, King James. What's the Bible? King James Bible. King James basketball. Worship, King James. When he came out in his initial image that was on the wall in Cleveland, was him with his looking up with his arms out. Basically, his body was in a cross. This word association, King James, cross. His first commercial with Nike, he busted through the hallway, and the choir is singing. And while the choir is singing, he has a ball, and he's passing it to ushers and people in the church. So early on in his career, Nike and the NBA, and again, this isn't about LeBron James. This is about the team around him. This is about David Stern. This is about Nike and their marketing department. This is about the NBA's marketing department and how the NBA's marketing department worked in concert with Nike and other sponsors of LeBron James to create a godlike image. Word association, King James, the king, cross. I'm going to get this powder in my hand. I'm going to throw this. That's a ceremony. Get the powder, throw it in the air, put your arms out. Here's the cross. Similar to Jay-Z. Jay-Z got an album called Watch the Throne. He's always been telling you Hov is a king. What's up, Tino? Man, over here doing my live talking shit. For sure. Yes, sir, man. You have a good one. So, word association. Your brain, if you're bought into the programming, if you're caught up into the programming, you're susceptible to the programming. If you understand how the programming works, you can guard against it. Mind you, this is 2003. I'm at Santa Monica College. I'm taking propaganda. 2003, I'm at Santa Monica College, my last semester there, and I'm going into Cal State Northridge for my first semester in Cal State Northridge, September 2003. I'm taking at the time I'm taking psychology classes, and I'm taking propaganda classes. I took a lot of like when I was at Santa Monica for 4 years. I only needed 60 units to transfer. I transferred with, I think, 92 units. I took way more units than I needed, because I was really trying to figure out what I wanted to do, where I was trying to be. I was trying to find myself. So I was just learning a lot, you know what I mean? And I learned, I'm not only a fat nigga, but I got an elephant's memory. If you tell it to me, I won't forget it. And I have a God-given ability to break down whatever I learn and teach it in a way people can understand. Well, anyway, why did I say all that? I'm taking a lot of these psychology classes, and a lot of these propaganda courses at the time LeBron James was coming into the NBA. So I'm not acting as if I'm some extra intelligent guy. It was just a perfect storm. I'm taking these classes while I'm watching these commercials. So this is at a time in my life that I'm hyper aware of everything that I see. That's why to this day I can't really watch movies. I don't watch too many movies, and I don't watch too much TV at all. I stay on YouTube because once I see the propaganda, I check out. The only time I really sit back and watch a movie now is if if I see a message and I want to break it down to y'all, like do a show. But if y'all notice, I haven't had any movie breakdown shows in a long time because I see everything that's coming. And now, overall, I really don't like fucking letting my brain go through this shit. Well, anyway, LeBron James, word association, King James, cross, basketball. And then when the games start, Mike Breen, King James with a three-pointer. Look what they do. What they did was, if you remember basketball and how it was announced in the 90s and the 80s, especially if you're from LA, you remember Chick Hearn. Chick Hearn when Chick Hearn would announce a basketball game, Magic down the court, Magic passes it to Worthy. Worthy's at the elbow, 17 feet from the basket. Swings it over to Scott. Scott swings it down to AC Green. AC Green misses the layup. Oh, blows the layup, passes it out to Byron Scott. Byron Scott, 17-footer corner shot, good basket. They talked about the game. They may have mentioned free throw percentage, but they never talked stats. It was just an even, let's just talk about the game. On national TV, they did it with Jordan. Everything that LeBron got, Jordan got, because it's not just LeBron. It started with Jordan. But it's just that by the time they got to LeBron, the process was refined. It was the same thing when Michael Jordan played. They only replayed Michael Jordan. I mean, somebody else on the other team could have had a 360 windmill dunk. They ain't going to replay that shit. They only going to replay the Michael Jordan layup or the Michael Jordan dunk. And they got on hyperdrive with LeBron James. They're only going to play LeBron James. Like, Chris Bosh hit the biggest shot of the season for the Miami Heat, and they're not going to replay that. They're going to replay that dunk that LeBron James had 5 minutes ago. And I remember 2010, 2009, this is when I was around the NBA environment heavy. I mean, those years, I met everybody that played in the NBA those years. Like, I had all kinds of conversations. I knew the announcers. I knew the referees. I knew a lot of the people behind the scenes doing some of the things behind the scenes, if you dig what I'm saying. And I still know them. I'm just in a different life right now. I'm in a different phase of my life right now. But back then, that was a very, very prominent thing in my life, NBA basketball. I was around it all. So I remember, if you go back, for those of you who have good memories, when LeBron lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in 2009, remember that was the year Nike had the puppets, and it was supposed to be Kobe versus LeBron in the finals. Kobe made it on his end, but LeBron didn't make it. He lost to the Orlando Magic, and he lost because he was only he wasn't taking any shots in the fourth quarter. Nigga had like 39 points at the end of the third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter would come, he just stopped shooting. And Magic and everybody got on his head. And they was killing LeBron James in the media. There was a memo that went out to all press and media that summer. You are no longer to speak that negatively of LeBron James. You can say a few things, but you can't say on him. Why did they do all this? The NBA did this because they were actively making a god. They needed you niggas to worship a god, and it worked. You bring up with the Lakers the fact that they didn't make the playoffs before Anthony Davis got there, and then people were like, well, LeBron got hurt. No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Lakers didn't make the playoffs. LeBron came back. They were only one game out the playoffs. His first 15 games he played back, the Lakers lost 12 of them 15 games and went from one game out the playoffs to 9 games out the playoffs. And when they were 9 games out, LeBron sat the rest of the season out. He wasn't shit without Anthony Davis. But they're not going to highlight shit to you. They're going to minimize his teammates and make him something that he's not to be. And if you tell this story to black men will be ready to shoot you. You say something bad about LeBron James, I think men that love LeBron James and men that love Michael Jordan, I think they're worse than Beyonce fans, honestly. I think the Beehive ain't got shit on the Bronsexual or the Jordan dickhead. Beyonce, like, don't get me wrong, the Beehive is bad. They terrible. The Beehive is treacherous. But they ain't got shit on a grown-ass black male LeBron James fan. Nothing. And that's by design. Again, I ain't say nothing about bad about LeBron James, the man. LeBron James is just the actor. He's the actor. Just like Joe Biden is the actor. Trump was the actor. It's all a game. LeBron is just the actor. He ain't the one that writes the script. He just plays the role. Stephen A. Smith's bosses do the rest. Skip Bayless does the rest. Let's get black men talking on sports. The reason why so many black TV anchors dominate basketball, ESPN and Fox Sports, is because black people, by percentage, are the highest unemployed, and black men per capita watch sports TV shows at a higher rate than anyone else. If that because they know at the end of the day, you could have sports talk all you want. If you want people to watch all day, you gotta have them at least put some people up there that look like the people watching. And black people, black men specifically, watch this sport shit all day. The NBA marketing scheme worked. Let me say that one more time. The NBA marketing scheme worked. And now we've gotten to the point to where black men can't watch basketball in a healthy manner. And I think it's hurting us really bad as a society. Why am I saying all this? Last night, I was at Baron Davis has an entertainment complex here in LA. And every now and again, I go there. I don't know Baron like that. I've been around him a lot in my life over the last 20 years, but I don't really know him like that. So I'm not going to sit here and act like he's my friend. Hell, I saw him last night. We didn't even say nothing to each other. And that's usually how it is with Baron Davis. And you ever know how it is with people? When you see them, when they see you, you never know how it's going to be. One day it's all love. The next day they look right through you. That's how it's always been with me and Baron Davis. And I ain't got no issues with him. And he ain't got no issues with me. You know, I know his agent. I hadn't talked to him in years, but I remember, I know a lot of people and hell, I remember back in like '06. I remember going up to San Francisco to, I think it was '06 or '07. Whenever UCLA went to the national championship that year, we went up to San Francisco because Baron Davis's birthday is like in the middle of April, and we went up there and we had some. We stayed up there like watched like the last game of the season with the Warriors, and then shit, I spent the night at his house, but that's only because nigga, it was so goddamn late. The driver had been left. I was on the couch. We know a lot of the same people. I would see him at the Drew League, but I saw him last night, and it was at his complex, and they had a women's dunk off, like a dunk contest, and it was interesting. It was funny. It was fun. They kept lifting the rim between 7 feet and 8 feet. Yeah. So this nigga Andre Bryant, you stupid. So anyway, I'm at the sport and at Baron Davis's little spot. It's always something. He always got some. I salute him. He always got something interesting going on. Every time I go there, it's something different. Um, Sometimes I'll go there like for during the NBA playoffs. He hosts events, and I get to catch up with a lot of cats from the NBA I ain't seen in a minute. These cats are retired now. It's always something fun going on there. Movie premieres, something. So last night they had women dunking the basketball, and it was funny as hell. I went there thinking, man, what's this shit? But by the time that shit started, I was laughing my ass off. That shit was great. But after the event, man, it was just like, I just saw me. You guys ever just sometimes you sitting back in a pocket minding your own business, and then but you're observing what's around you. And so it was just one of those moments where everything was moving slow. Probably because I was on my second and a half joint, well, blunt. So I'm looking, and all the dudes, not all the dudes, but a lot of the dudes just rushed the basketball court. And they moved the rim up to 10 feet. Niggas started dunking. Niggas started doing 360 dunks, windmills between the legs, off the backboard, doing all kind of acrobatic shit in jeans. In jeans and some Timberlands. On one hand, I'm thinking like, man, we are such a physically gifted and mentally gifted people. I'm like, these niggas, it was a couple niggas that was like 5'7", 5'10", nigga dunking like Tracy McGrady. I'm like, what the fuck? These short ass niggas doing dunking like that. So on one hand, I'm looking at it and I'm observing the beauty and grace that we as a people carry. On the other end, I was thinking about something Neely Fuller said. It was something Neely Fuller said on one of his shows years ago. He was basically was like, if you want to distract black men, like, all you gotta do is throw a ball out there. And nigga, that's so true. It shouldn't be true. I wish it wasn't true. But that shit's so goddamn true. You give niggas a basketball, it is over. It ain't gonna be no constructive conversation. It ain't gonna be no building. It ain't gonna be none of that. It's gonna be shit talk and nigga shit on top of nigga shit on top. I mean, it was so bad. These niggas was elbowing the women out the way to get to that basketball. I'm over here watching, like somebody will shoot a ball and it'll come off, and it'll be two ladies, pretty ladies too. If I was single, I would holler at them. But I'm married, so I just watch this shit. It was these two. I'm watching. My back is on the wall. I got a blunt in one hand and a drink in the other, and I'm looking, and these two beautiful, stunning black women are talking to one another, and the ball comes that way. These niggas basically knocked these beautiful black ass women out the way to get to the ball and didn't say excuse me. And I was thinking, like, I had a thought in that moment. Niggas lose their fucking mind over a basketball. Like, I remember when I used to, and don't get me wrong, I had to evolve. I'm not speaking as somebody who always knew it all. Yeah, y'all see me the big nigga now. After 2 knee surgeries, I can't play no more. But in my teens and my 20s, nigga, I used to play basketball 5 hours a day. All 325 pounds of me. 3 to 5 hours a day, LA Fitness. I still have a reputation in LA now. If you know people that was hooping in the early 2000s, Westchester Park, Venice Beach, they know who the fuck I am. But that was a whole life ago. I don't even talk about that shit. I was always just known as the fat nigga who could hoop. And I run all day. Jump shots great, footwork, all that good shit. But, so I remember there was a time in my life where basketball meant everything. But even with me back then, I was still in college. I didn't let basketball get me out of college. Man, when I was at Santa Monica College, Cal State Northridge, I worked at the bank 20 hours a week. I played the drums at church and in 2 different bands. And I hooped 3 to 5 days a week. Usually 3 to 5 hours a day when I did hoop. On Tuesdays, I went to school Monday and Wednesday and worked at the bank Tuesday and Thursday. And on Friday, I did school in the morning, worked at the bank at night. In the afternoon. So Monday, school's over. I had morning classes. So I take my morning classes and I'll be done with school by like 12. Nigga, leave school, go to the gym, hoop till like 6. No, I usually hoop from like 3 to 7, sometimes 3 to 8. Go home, take a shower, go to rehearsal with my band, go out at night. Get home about 2, 3 in the morning, wake up at 7 in the morning, go to work the next day at the bank. Come home from work, get off work at 6. Nigga, hoop from like 7 to 9. Nigga, and then that was my schedule. So I remember the days and hooping was everything. And then when I couldn't hoop no more, when I had them knee surgeries, I coached. So when I coached basketball, Saturday and Sunday, all day, because I coached 2 teams. So we have, on Saturday and Sunday, we have practice, but by the time the summer came and when it's AAU season, man, AAU basketball, my first game I got to coach my 9-year-old team at 8 a.m. in Costa Mesa, which is like 45 minutes from where I live. And then the next game would be in Fullerton, which is like 20 minutes from Costa Mesa. And that game would be at 10 a.m. And then we got to go to this other gym in Huntington Beach, which is 30 minutes from Fullerton. And that game starts at 2. And then we got to go back to that first gym we was at Costa Mesa, which is 25 minutes from there. And that game is at 4. And this is every Saturday and Sunday. And then the Vegas tournament, the Portland tournament. And then I got coaches that want to talk to one of my kids. Then at the time, I had friends in the NBA. So I'm watching their games. I'm helping them break their games down. That was my relationship with basketball for like well over 10 years, 15 years in my adulthood. And then it was All-Star Weekend. Gotta go to All-Star Weekend. Nigga, basketball was my life in a lot of ways. But at the same time, during those years, I still got my fucking degree. I still went to work. I never let shit lapse. I still always had a consciousness about me. But what I realized was in those environments, those are conscious, deficient environments, if I'm going to say it in any way. Anyone who's ever been around anybody either in the NBA or associated with the NBA, you will understand that those are very conscious, deficient environments. There's not much constructive conversation. There's not much building going on. It's very lame. It's extremely lame. Like, I remember the only time when I'll be in the friends and families room, like, don't ever be, the most surface level place you'll ever be is an NBA friends and family room. I mean, those are some of the most brain deficient motherfuckers you'd ever want to meet in there. But you can also meet some dope people. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be dope people in there. Like, I remember I met Common. Me and Common had a long conversation before a Clipper game once. Common was dope, but this was before he turned lame. That Common kind of weird now with the Democrats. But before Common turned pro-Democrat, we had a dope conversation. I met Kanye in there. Y'all know my Khloe Kardashian stories. Well, anyway, why am I saying all that? I'm saying that to say that I was there mentally and physically. I was there. I know what that environment does. I know what it fosters. I know what it creates. And I be having my young cats from the Maryland basketball team, the Terrapins. Salute to y'all. Y'all been holding me down for like 2 years now. A lot of the young basketball players for the Maryland Terrapins, they listen to me a lot in there. They be emailing me. They listen to me a lot in their locker room, before their games. And so this is to y'all. This is to you young folks, and this is also to you adults who have a child in basketball. That environment preys on the mind of our black men, our black boys. It takes every ounce of serious energy that they have and it dedicates it to a fucking ball. Think about this real quick, black people. Before the NBA and the NFL became a major priority in black America, we were inventing everything. Black men were inventing roller coasters, freezers, refrigerators, stoplights, elevators, doorknobs. Like, our list of innovations from 1850 to 1950 are second to none. And there's a one-to-one connection between our inventions and the United States super economy. We always got to remember there's a cause and effect relationship between everything. And every show, if I can remember, I always try to give you guys the cause and effect relationship between everything. The cause was black inventions. The effect was a super economy. That's how it works. George Washington Carver created the assembly line. Henry Ford didn't create the car. As a matter of fact, his car was shitty. But here comes George Washington Carver to say, okay, instead of creating 10 cars a day, you can create 10,000. That's how a super economy is created. The more I can produce, the more I can sell. When I create this cotton gin, we can produce more cotton. That means we can sell more cotton. See, white people won't tell you this. These are when us as black people got to recognize for ourselves and share for one another. One of our biggest issues We allow our enemy to forecast and create the narrative for us instead of us forecasting for ourselves and creating our own. We don't have to lie. We don't have to lie. What happens when George Washington Carver creates plastic? That means you can store things longer. You can organize things. That means this is a source, this is a tool that can create things much, much cheaper. You don't have to go get metal. You don't have to source for metals. You don't have to wait and mold pottery. You just create this thing called plastic that didn't exist before this black man invented it. And when you own the production and sale of it, you can now sell this to the rest of the world. That's the one-to-one connection between our inventions and the super economy. And you know why it's so easy to sell this to the rest of the world? Because you can sell Americanism to the rest of the world. What is Americanism accompanied with? What is the lead of Americanism? The black sound, music. Our music, our music, our music. When you play this shit we call black music to the world, that's like crack. Them motherfuckers listen to our shit. They get to shaking their hips off beat. They say, mama and daddy, I don't want this shit y'all listening to. I want what them niggas is playing in America. And then the minute we get in your account, we get in your kids' ears with our music, with Motown, with Fats Waller, with Scott Joplin, with Louis Armstrong, with Miles Davis, with Earth, Wind, and Fire, with Whitney Houston, with Michael Jackson, Stevie Wonder. Hell, let's talk about the black people by extension. Eric Clapton, all he did was play black music. The Beatles, all they did was play black music. The Rolling Stones, black music. Elvis, black music. So whether you get our music directly or you get our music indirectly through what's now known as K-pop, it's still our shit. This is what we was doing, man. Why has that slowed down? Make no mistake about it. I'm not saying we're not inventing things anymore. I don't say we're not creating things anymore. But why has the dynamics to our creation slowed down? That's a critical question we have to ask that. And we have to look at all areas. Yes, we can look at the war on drugs. Yes, we can look at mass incarceration is a part of it. Yes, a major part of it is Brown versus Board of Education. During the time we was inventing everything, we was educating ourselves. We didn't need them to approve schools and instrument. The churches educated us. You had instruments there. We had an ingenuity about us. So there are a lot of things. I'm not saying sports is the only thing. There are a lot of things that go into this soup that have slowed us down. Immigration, mass immigration is one. But we've dealt with mass immigration. This isn't our first rodeo. We were dealing with mass immigration in the 1920s. We were dealing with mass immigration in the 1890s. We've always dealt with mass immigration. That's been the problem. Black America, we've always dealt with mass immigration. When have we not dealt with mass immigration? We was kicking these crackers' asses. The thing that got us ultimately defeated on our land was mass immigration. The Europeans started coming here in 1526. They didn't control coast to coast until the 1890s, y'all. Yeah, California was a state in 1849, I get it. But the Sequoia region wasn't settled until, General Allensworth settled that region in the 1880s. The Buffalo Soldiers, black people, that's where we went wrong. The Buffalo Soldiers, it was shit like that another thing that fucked us up. We helped these crackers settle the land. That's where we went wrong in a lot of ways. The Buffalo Soldiers, they didn't settle the Sequoia region of California to the 1880s, 1890s. So it took the Anglo-Saxon It wasn't just the Anglo-Saxon, the Frank, the French, the Visigoth and Vandal, that's the Spanish, the Anglo-Saxon, that's the British, the Huns, that's the Germans. It took those tribes of Europe well over 300 years to get coast to coast black people. Let's stop acting like they just came over here like gangbusters. Why did it take 300 years? Because after they settled their treaties, mass immigration. That's why the Midwest is filled up with Germans. Those are Germans in Indiana and Illinois, and Missouri, and Kansas. Those are Germans in Oklahoma. Mass immigration. So we've always dealt with mass immigration. That ain't never stopped us from doing shit. Well, slavery kind of stopped us, but post-slavery. Basketball, sports, our minds. For the black men who are not locked up, where do we dedicate too much of our time? And here am I saying this. I'm not saying we shouldn't, because I'm actually going to start talking about sports again on the on my Hotepish Tuesday show on Caffeine. When the NBA season starts, I'm gonna talk about sports. Last season, towards the end of the season in the playoffs, I did some live streams where I commentated on the games live here on YouTube while y'all watched. A lot of the black men love that. I'm gonna do it again for y'all. So I'm not here to say we shouldn't watch sports. I probably should have said that sooner than 51 minutes into it. But anyway, I'm not here saying we shouldn't do it. I'm just saying the relationship we have with it is fucking us up. For real, for real. We too passionate about this shit. We got to get back to the days we can watch a game and then go back to being men. I remember when my dad and my cousin, my Uncle Fred was a Detroit Pistons fan, Isaiah Thomas. He hated the Lakers. He hated Magic. My dad was a Magic fan. When the Lakers would play the Pistons, they talk all kind of shit. But when the game was over, they would go back to talking man shit. I remember being a 5-year-old boy sitting in there watching my dad do this. Yeah, they would talk shit when the Laker game was on, drinking a beer, smoking a weed, talking all kind of shit. But when the game was over, it was back to life, back to reality. That's the part that we missing. Niggas, and I'm not saying every black person, but too many niggas don't know how to get back to life, get back to reality after talking about a fucking game. See, when I start talking sports again, watch, y'all gonna see. Y'all gonna see. Y'all know I'm gonna tie that life game into it. I ain't gonna just sit here and talk sports and only talk sports. But I had to take that hiatus. I stopped doing sports and things, I think, almost 10 years ago, a little less than 10 years ago. Now, when I come back with it and talk sports, I understand how to integrate. And I integrated it back then, but I was just angry back then. But I understand better how to integrate life game with it, like I did when I coached basketball. But more so, bigger than that. Sometimes you gotta reach people where they are, not where you want them to be. And one thing I know about that caffeine app is big on sports and is big on battle rap. I don't fuck with battle rap, but I do fuck with sports. So if I can tap into that audience over there with sports and draw them in and use sports as a canvas to tell a bigger story, that's what I'm gonna do. 10 years ago when I quit sports and things, I didn't understand my power. I was in my early 30s. And when you're in your early 30s, you really don't understand your power. That's something that starts to come when 40 hit. Even if you thought you understood your power in your 30s, it's different when you hit 40. Like, I know my power now. I didn't know it back then. I just kind of, I thought that I was too weird. I thought that no one wanted to hear what I had to say because I thought too differently. I didn't understand that I should have just kept going. And if I kept going, I could bring people to me. I didn't understand that principle back then. I understand it now. So I will be talking some sports. But I'm talking it with an understanding of knowing that too many of us can't handle that shit. But I think now it's enough of us ready if they just hear a different perspective. Not all, but I think it's enough of us ready if they just hear a different perspective. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I'm saying overall, when us black men, when we start to defend our society the way we defend our team, and I'm saying when, because not if. We not done with this shit. When we start defending the disrespect of black women and children, the way we defend the disrespect of our favorite basketball player or football player, we ain't got to change nothing. We just got to change the angle we do it at. It's not about what you do. It's about how you do it. It's about timing. It's like music. It's like the drums. It's the time. It's the feel. Time and the feel make the song. Go back and listen to that song by the Isley Brothers, Don't Say Goodnight. Man, that song is, what's being played is so simple. But in order for that song to work and not make it feel like it has too much space in between, you gotta have that timing down. You gotta have that feeling down. Life is music. It's the timing and the feeling. Same thing with basketball. It's timing. You gotta know when to cut to the basket. You gotta know when to flare out for the open three. You gotta know when to step into the middle to take that charge. Because if you step a millisecond too late, that charge becomes a block. And now you have 4 fouls in the third quarter with 8 minutes left, and you can't play until 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Timing is everything. It's not what you do, it's how you do it and the time you do it in. So I think if black people, especially of us as black men, if we can keep our passion that we have for Michael Jordan, if we can keep our passion that we have for Jay-Z, and just, instead of having that passion for them, have that passion for other black men, black women, and black children. How the fuck dynamic dope would we be? I mean, think about how life would be if niggas defended the disrespect. If we defended what our children go through in this whole special education system, in this miseducation system, they're practicing menticide on our children now, black people. Like, I be bringing this shit up all the time, and I can't get no kind of passion from niggas. And I ain't even got no kids. I be like, you just finished talking to me for 2 hours about why I'm crazy for thinking Kobe's better than LeBron James. But when I tell you, you need to get your son out of that special education class because his brain is gonna rot, you be like, well, the teacher said that he belonged there. And I'm like, well, no, that special education system is for children with autism. Your boy is like fighting. Get his ass up out of there. Well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Back to LeBron James. That's the dumb nigga shit we gotta deal with right now. Niggas ready to fight over a goddamn top 5 rapper. But when it come time We see our sisters get disrespected out here. You see what's going on. That woman king is disrespect to our black women. I heard the new Black Panther gonna have they they they're trying to make our women men. That's some shit we gotta holler about that. They're telling our children you ain't shit unless you want to be the opposite sex that you were born as. Remember, children only learn on consequences and rewards. Children don't understand long-term benefits because they ain't lived long enough, goddammit. Children only know consequences and rewards. So when it's rewards for being Dwayne Wade kid and saying I'm a girl, I'm not saying your kids are gonna do that. I'm saying the ones who know good in the hell well they ain't gonna do that. They feel lost, especially if they have a parent that don't communicate with them. This is going on now in our households. But niggas want to argue about who your top 5 is and who your favorite fucking basketball player is. And don't talk to their fucking kids. All these goddamn parents out here. Only time you talk to your kids is when you talking about their grades, asking them why they fucked up in school, or some dumb shit. Don't know a damn thing going on in your kid's life, but you know the statistics of your favorite basketball player? What the fuck is wrong with us? I mean, for real, for real. What the fuck is wrong with us? We that goddamn simple? You can defend the Beehive and you can go around on Twitter and get people's accounts suspended because of what they said about Beyonce, but you can't get that principal fired at your son's school that misappropriated funds. Oh, you can't show up to a PTA meeting, but you can find the real address of somebody on YouTube or Twitter because they said something bad about Beyonce. You can find their real address and post their address, but you can't find a way to get your kid the proper resources at school. The fuck is wrong with us, man? I really mean that shit. I had to go through a journey on being Mr. Basketball, always in the club. I was in the club all the time, always All-Star Weekend. I mean, kicking it at the dinner table with, I ain't gonna name drop it because the names aren't important. Like, some of the best times in the NBA life is just because a lot of them white boys be knowing you cool with cats in the league, so they be throwing you all kind of free shit, invite me out. I would wake up sometimes because they wanted to get in contact with a certain player. I go somewhere and I'll be like, hey man, I got these tickets to a game. Shit, third row seats. Hey, meet me over at the Palm restaurant. Y'all know the Palm is a la carte. That Palm, I done had plenty of dinners over at that Palm restaurant across the street from Staples Center. Bill be like $600. And this is 2008. This ain't now. Bill be like $750. I mean, I had a lot of fun. All my years around that, it just being in the belly of the beast, that's what made me question everything. I had to question myself, is it worth it? And I'm gonna get to y'all comments. I know I ain't looked at the screen in about 30 minutes because I've been running my goddamn mouth. I probably ain't looked at the screen in 40 minutes. So I'm gonna get to y'all comments in a little bit. So if you've been talking, if you think I'm ignoring you, no, I'm not. I'm not looking at the screen because I have a stream of consciousness going on right now, and I don't want my flow getting disrupted. But I remember this. whole point of view that I have comes from seeing it up close and asking myself a serious question. It wasn't an easy question to ask. I'm telling y'all. Well, the way I identified with myself in my 20s, in my early 30s, especially my 20s, this was not an easy question to ask. I love basketball. Even though I was someone who can do basketball and still get back to my life, looking around, I really saw that most people couldn't. When I was heavy into hoop, basketball is life was a popular slogan. Basketball is life. Basketball is life. You know, and so I had to ask myself a question because this is what I would see. I even been right there up close. It would be niggas who were barely making the NBA, sitting on the end of the bench. And I saw it took 6 to 8 hours a day of off-season training to be the last nigga off the bench. I saw so many people come and go. Drafted the first round. Third year, they out of there. Because the NBA is hella competitive. Like, most of y'all be thinking all them niggas is rich. No, they not. The niggas is not rich like that. You got 2 or 3 niggas on the team making max money. The rest of them niggas, after taxes, you're better off working a tech job. Because the way the NBA distributes the salary cap, they only allow for 3 max contracts, 2 mid-level contracts, and the next 6 contracts are minimum, meaning enough money for you to live on 2 years after you're done playing basketball. And it's back to the poorhouse you go. That's how the NBA is set up. One of my friends was an assistant coach with the Lakers when they went to the finals those 3 years and won those last 2 championships for Kobe. And when he won those championships, he was sleeping on his brother's fucking couch because he was an advanced scout. He was a scout. And scouts didn't get paid like that. Major reason why they won a championship, because when Kobe had to be at the gym because Kobe had to get to the gym at 5 a.m. for off-season workouts. And so my boy had to be at the gym at 4:45 to let Kobe in and set the cones up. If Kobe Kobe was obsessive with basketball. Kobe was good at calling him and being at 2 in the morning. Hey, yo, I know we just landed, but I need to get some shots up. Come with me down to the workout facility and pass me the ball. This is the kind of work that he put in. And he was sleeping on his brother's fucking couch. I remember sitting there one day and he had to call Jerry Buss for his check. Like, the Lakers hadn't paid him. Like, he had did some work for Mitch Kupchak and Mitch didn't pay him. It was like 6 months. Because the Lakers are a mom and pop organization. They're not corporate at all. They're very mom and pop. And I remember we was sitting there, we playing NBA 2K, and he had, hold on, I got to take this call. It was Jerry Buss calling him back. You out?
Yeah, bro.
What you smoking on?
Oh, no, that's black and white.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, man. And we had to pause NBA 2K because Dr. Jerry Buss was finally calling him back like, hey, what's up? He's like, Jerry, I didn't get my check. Remember that work we did? And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And he had the check that Dr. Jerry Buss was straight up. He was the real one. He had a check the next day, like FedExed out to where we were. But to have to go through that, pulling 16-hour days, I had to ask myself, is it worth it if a black kid dedicates 6 to 8 hours a day to anything He's going to be a millionaire. She's going to be a millionaire. If we can get girls into coding and tech and have them working at building mods and learning coding 6 to 8 hours a day, she's going to be making more than NBA players. I remember hearing the story. One time I remember hearing, was it Baron Davis? It was somebody that said this. They were like, they did an event in San Francisco with the tech people. And this is like an NBA player. They were like, I was by far the brokest person in the room. Anything a black child dedicates 6 to 8 hours of dedicated time to a day, they're going to be a millionaire. I guarantee it. If they dedicate 6 to 8 hours a day at being a nail tech, nigga, Beyonce will find her and pay her $65,000 an hour to paint her nails. God damn it. Anything we as a people dedicate 6 to 8 hours a day to, we're going to win. So I had to ask myself, I spent all this time of my life playing basketball, coaching basketball, spending my free time around basketball. And I had to be like, for what? For 400 funky ass slots that are available. And the way the NBA salary cap works, out of those 450 slots, only 50 of these motherfuckers are gonna make big money. The other 400 are gonna make mid-level money that's not gonna be enough for them to live long-term on after they retire or are done. They're only probably gonna be here for a year or two. I would remember seeing rookies come in, and I would get cool with like their parents or their homeboy or whatever, they folks that got with them, and he'd be thinking, okay, this nigga gonna make it. And then you look up 2-3 years later, whatever happened to such and such? It's such a fleeting, NBA basketball and sports is such a fleeting thing. But we spend so much time and energy sending our children in that direction. And the men spend too much fucking time arguing over that shit. So my question to everybody, what is the true cost of sports? And can we handle it? That motherfucker had that loud ass car going 22 miles an hour. What the fuck, nigga? That muffler sounded like an extended fart. Anyway, what was I saying? So that's just my thoughts on what we gotta do. Damn, 73 minutes in. So I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, yeah. I had to question it all, man. You said Nick Young, money gone? I remember Nick Young when he was at USC. I remember Nick Young when he was in college. He used to come down to LA Fitness where we used to hoop. I was real cool with his brother Ty. And I remember when Nick Young used to come down. I remember when Nick got in the NBA, man. It was like, but Nick would never work out. Like, let me tell you, he will work out. But when it came to like, Nick would always be there scrimmaging at UCLA or whatever. But when other people was going to individual workouts, Nick would be gone. I like Nick Young. Nick has a very youthful spirit about him. You said your brother-in-law is Andrew Bynum. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. So at the end of the day, we have to rethink this thing. And when y'all see me talking sports, understand, because I know these people listening to me right now, like later tonight, y'all my hardcore following. And a lot of y'all are new. And I thank everybody in here who is new. I appreciate you, and I appreciate everybody who been here. For those of you who are new, y'all know I do this shit from my heart. I love this shit. I speak about things, that concern me. And I love humanity. I love everybody. I don't just love black people. I do love everybody. But I give black people first priority. The same way you do with your race. And everyone does it. And if you personally don't do it, salute to you. The other 99% of the people in your race, they do it. So, sorry for you. I'm a person who loves the world. I respect everybody. But I speak from a perspective of empowering the least empowered people in America. The people who have built the country and the people who are most lied to and lied about. That's my preference. But if you're not black, you're still welcome in here to listen. Because honestly, the issues that we go through, y'all go through them too at varying degrees. Y'all go through them too at differing degrees. So if you could take some of this information and you're not black and apply it to your life and it's going to help you out and make you more constructive, welcome to you. If you one of the motherfuckers that be like, well, the one all white peoples ain't bad, and you didn't hear a fucking word that I said for these last 76 minutes, kiss my ass. I'm trying to puff on the joint and answer you niggas' questions. You know? What y'all talking about in the chat room? Yeah, because... And salute to Jayla, the self-esteem queen, all right? Holla at Jayla Baxter. Star put her shit up, her link up in the description already. Those candles light the mood. I light them motherfuckers damn near every night. You got cotton wicks. You got wood wicks. How was the CCW class? That was cool. I passed it. Here's the thing about CCW class. All this shit's a fucking game. You spend most of concealed carry weapons class talking about how to transport your weapon and your ammunition if you don't have a concealed carry. I'm like, y'all taught us this shit in regular gun safety class. Why are we talking about how to transport your weapon in a concealed carry class? Here in California, you don't take the concealed carry class until you've been approved for everything else. The only reason why I'm in that class is because I've already been approved. Shouldn't y'all be talking to me about how to, the legal, what I can't do? Because I don't have to worry about separating my bullets from my gun anymore. You only in California, you gotta have your ammunition locked in a separate box than your weapon. And your weapon has to be locked to the extent you can't just reach in there and get it. Like if you lock your weapon and you can still kind of like open up the box and reach in and get it, you're now illegally transporting a firearm. And that's cool. But I have a CCW. I can put that motherfucker in my pocket now. So why are we spending 2 hours talking about how to transport a weapon when, God damn it, that shit don't apply to me anymore? And then when it came to the shooting range, I brought my holster thinking, okay, we're going to have to practice how to fire from the holster. Like, I'm going to have to show a proficiency, of firing from the holster. No, we didn't have no shooting from the holster. It was just regular ass shooting, like in regular ass shooting. I'm like, man, this shit's a fucking game. This shit's a fucking game. What's up, Genius the Menace? What's up, BB Bolger? You say my comedy kept me from erasing a few people. Oh shit! I'm glad I got the help, brother. Shit. Yeah, man. Dominique said in Tennessee you can get your CCW online. Man, yeah. All you down south niggas, y'all got them liberal, y'all got them beautiful gun laws down south. LA to California too full of fake ass liberals, and the laws change monthly out here. The laws change monthly. In California, you can't have a gun with more than 10 rounds. And then a judge struck it down, and then it got put back. So for literally the judge struck that down about 3 years ago. But for over the last 3 years, it's been in limbo. It'll get struck down, and then it'll appeal to come, and then it'll get put back in place, and then another appeal will come, and then it'll get struck down again. So every 6 months, that fucking law changes. What up, Adrian Taylor? I ain't seen you in a minute. What's my opinion on pepper ball guns? Shit, use them. I'm like, hey, whatever level of defense you feel necessary for you, use it. I'm down with mace. I'm just saying, make sure only use it if you in defense. Don't go around pepper balling motherfuckers. Don't go around shooting niggas if you got a gun. Avoid confrontation at all costs. That's what I say. Shit. That's why I got a snub nose. If I'm far away from you, I'm going to get the fuck away. I'm not going to, if I can get away, I'm leaving the situation. But if you up on me and you threatening me, yeah. But I don't want no confrontation. None. That's why I talk to people with respect and treat people with respect. Hey, y'all, speaking of respect, man, I'm going to be back at the Hollywood Bowl because on Tuesday, Busta Rhymes is going to be there with Wu-Tang and Nas. I'm not gonna be in my normal on this jazz. I sit down real close to the stage, but this event, them seats I was sitting in this past Wednesday, them hoes is running $750 each. That'd be $1,500 for me and my wife. Hell nah. I'm sitting my ass up top. But at top, you can smoke all the weed you want. But I said that because Disrespectful Busta Rhymes is gonna be performing, and I'm wondering if I should get there late until after he performs. I'm gonna get there on time. Busta made some good music. He did. I gotta give him credit for that. My man Jado produced a lot of his music. He went to Westchester with me. Me and Jado went to high school together. But the way Busta, what he had to say about Black American culture, I want to thank Busta for that, because that whole thing he went on talking about Black people, America has no culture. That's what really got me into what I'm doing right now. I'm with the music history. Oh, and more good news for y'all. The reason why I'm coming on live tonight, because I was going to do tomorrow morning, but I'm not going to do tomorrow morning. I would like to do incense and ashtrays for y'all tomorrow night. I would like to. Can't guarantee it. Because I'm filming tomorrow. Me and my cameraman, we got a studio. We got a studio, and I'm gonna be sitting back. Shit! Here come another. Uh, a goddamn neighbor got the loud ass car. But we got a studio, and I'm about to film a series on music history, a mini series, and I'm gonna break shit down. I'm gonna be filming instead of me just doing on YouTube about the tree, like how I be doing right now, where it's all dark. Half you niggas is complaining that you can't see me. I get it. Well, the whole music tree is about to be explained, but it's about to be explained in the studio on film, high quality. Why? Because if I ever ask you motherfuckers for a dime, the quality is gonna be on top. And I'm gonna do a series with me just really talking, and I'm gonna put most of it out on YouTube. Most of it's gonna be on YouTube. Like the clips are gonna be up on YouTube. I'm gonna have a bunch of clips for you to share, to knock these niggas down. But the mini series is gonna be on my website. That's gonna be, and I'll price it. It's not gonna be expensive. I'm not gonna make it expensive, but it's gonna be a bunch of mini series. Like when I talk about funk, I'm not gonna do one episode on funk. I'm gonna do like 6 episodes on funk. Instead of doing 1 hour on funk, I'm gonna do like 6 45-minute breakdowns on funk, maybe 8. When I go into jazz is gonna be like a 10-part series probably. Blues is gonna be 6 7-part series. R&B is gonna be like I might have like a couple seasons on R&B. I can't just have one season on R&B. I'm gonna have like R&B I'm gonna have to first start you guys with Louis Armstrong and how that evolved into Fats Waller, and how Fats Waller evolved into Chuck Berry and Ike Turner and Charles Brown and those guys. And then from 50s R&B into Ray Charles, and from Ray Charles to Motown, from Motown to Stax, from Stax to Philadelphia International. So it's gonna be very comprehensive. And as the series evolves, I'm going to bring in my first season. I'm going to do it just by myself because I'm on a shoestring budget, and I really don't want to crowdfund. I'd rather not crowdfund. I might crowdfund. I'd rather not crowdfund. I'd rather put out the first season for you guys first, and y'all see what the fuck I'm dealing with, what I'm doing, and y'all see the quality of this shit. And as I sell those pay-per-views, I'll then use that money to, because I want some other musicians on it, and I know other musicians will do it for free, but I don't want anybody to do anything for me for free. I want to pay them something for coming down. So as the seasons evolve, I'm going to be bringing in musicians that I fuck with. But of course, I'm going to pay them first. And I'm going to have them play their instruments and give you real life examples of what the fuck I'm talking about. But I start filming tomorrow. If you guys saw my commercial that I put up on here of me playing the drums on my sample packs, which I'm going to start running that commercial again, because my sample packs will be up on incenseandashtrays.com pretty soon. But if you saw that commercial that I had with me on my sample packs, it's going to be that level quality. It's some high quality shit. But I will have a bunch of free clips on YouTube and on Instagram and all them other places so you guys can share. And everything that I say, you will be able to look up and find for yourself. Because when I talk music history, I don't tell you just to believe me. Tell you where to go to find it. Jupiter's beautiful right now, ain't she? No, I think Jupiter's Jupiter's a masculine. Saturn is feminine, I think. What am I talking about? I really want to get some. When I talk about Ohio funk, I'm gonna get some friends of mine and some people I know that are from Ohio to just talk about the energy of Ohio. What went into that Ohio funk? What was the environment like? What up, Smitty? Yeah. What's up, Ebony? Yeah, but this nigga said Bus Rhymes gonna cry when he finds out Oxtails is British. Yeah, but yeah. So tomorrow I'm filming the first installment, but we're gonna be putting out a lot of these installments, and I'll have the deeper versions on pay-per-view. But I'm gonna evolve it. But you gotta start somewhere, right? Cause I floated the idea of doing a Patreon, but not Patreon. I made it a Patreon. Of doing a, what do you call it? A Kickstarter or something like that. But when I saw the quality of what my man was able to put out when he did my drum pack commercial, I'm like, okay, we just know if we know how to film it simple enough, we won't have to worry about too much stuff in post production. Cause I'm not gonna do anything complicated. Like I'm not gonna be changing too much. It's just gonna be me talking in interview style with, there's gonna be like overlays of examples of what I'm talking about, image overlays, but keep it to where we got to have minimal sound coloring and picture coloring. Just keep it real simple, but right. And I think I got the name of it. I'm not telling you right now because I have to sleep on it. But when me and the wife was driving home from Ohio today, the name of it came through me. The same way every other name at the in Cincinnati. Sometimes the name just comes through you. And I told Isha, I said, text me. The name came through me, and I told it to her. And I told her to text it to me so I don't forget it. I'm not gonna say her name also because we at the point now to where my channel's at the point now where it's probably some weirdo dickhead out there to where if I did say her name, they'd probably try to go trademark it before I did. So yeah, but so what y'all talking about? You said your father grew up in the same neighborhoods as Ohio players, man. All of the original Ohio players are dead, but the ones that came when the band retooled, and I think it was in 1974, 1975. That's when Junie Morrison left. That's when Diamond came on the drums. So some of the people when they retooled in the mid 70s, they're still alive. But the original band from the 60s, all of them are gone. Satch is gone. Marvin's gone. Merv. Sugarfoot is gone. Junie's gone. Diamond's still alive. That's a drummer. But Diamond came, I think, in 74 or 75. Diamond isn't the original drummer. Yeah. Yeah, we definitely gonna do. Oh, Adrian said you got multiple accounts. Okay. When I saw you sit talking, I was like, man, cause I be so in the moment and stuff like that. But when I just saw Adrian talking, I was like, man, I ain't seen Adrian in a minute. What the fuck? Y'all don't be knowing, man. I fuck with y'all. Like I really do. I may talk shit from time to time. Even if y'all say something stupid, and I jump in and say, and I talk shit to you. That's just look. I'm a foundational black American. Talking shit's in my DNA. I'm just because I talk shit to you don't mean I don't love you. You dig? Matter of fact, if I'm talking shit to you, that means I do got a certain level of respect. Shit. I grew up in a household where my grandfather called me the fat motherfucker. I come from a world that you can say anything. Funky Worm is the old band. That's Junie Morrison. The Funky Worm, I think that was on the Pleasure CD. I think the Pleasure album. I think that was Pleasure. I think that was the last album the original band was all together. Because after the Funky Worm, Junie left the Ohio Players and joined Parliament Funkadelic. And it was Junie that did Not Just Knee Deep, One Nation Under a Groove, and Flashlight. That was all Junie. And there's also Junie singing, Get your boo body just to the funk. Dun, dun. The United Funk of Funkadelic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of funky, funky Funkadelic. The United Funk of Funkadelic. Do they funk? Man, I love that shit. That's on that One Nation Under a Groove album. Oh, tomorrow, and this is for my Incense and Ashtrays listeners, I'm going to put my P-Funk playlist live on Apple iTunes tomorrow, Apple Music. I'm not going to keep it up there permanently, but I will put my P-Funk playlist on Apple Podcast tomorrow because I got some P-Funk that's not on iTunes or on Spotify. The Uncle Jam's Army album is not on Spotify. It's not on iTunes. But it is on my playlist, and I will be putting that live tomorrow. So you can find Freak of the Week. Do, 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 do. Gotta be Freak of the Week. Do, do. Yeah. Oh, what up, Butter Love? Yeah. See, Butter Love y'all gotta thank Butter Love, man, because sometimes when I be like, man, she be like, nigga, is you gonna do it in Cincinnati Strays or is you gonna do it in Cincinnati Strays? And I be like, I was doing something, but yeah, all right. Butter Love been telling me put these playlists public for a minute. I should have been done listening. You know where I gotta give why I gotta give Butter Love so much credit? And she's never said this, and she'll probably never say it, but so I'm gonna say it for her. Butter Love, me and her been Facebook friends for I don't know how long. Before I even started this show, because I was very unsure of myself. I had gone through my experience with sports and things. You know, I was subbing. I would be a guest on other people's podcasts, but I was unsure of myself getting started. Cause y'all don't know how hard it is to go live and 3 people are watching. And 6 weeks later, 7 people are watching. And then 7 weeks after that, nobody's watching. And then 5 weeks after that, 3 people are watching. That is the hardest part about podcasting. You got to be willing to do that for a year, maybe two. You got to be willing to have 15 people watching for 2 years if you want to do this shit. If y'all think this shit is easy, you have to be willing to sit through 2 years of 3 niggas watching, sometimes 0. And then when your podcast has been up on Facebook and on YouTube for 6 months, it got up to a grand total of 27 views. That shit's hard. It's very draining mentally. It's very discouraging. So my previous attempts at podcasting, I could never get over that hump. I could never get past 2 or 3 straight months of 10 people watching. I had a nigga in the NBA on my podcast, and I still couldn't get nobody to watch that shit. I had one episode when the Dallas Mavericks won the championship in 2011. That shit had like 80,000 listens on Blog Talk Radio. And when like Osama bin Laden got killed, I had like 57,000 listens on Blog Talk Radio. Other than those two aberrations, 20 people was watching. And that's with a nigga in the NBA that will sometimes bring on other niggas in the NBA as guests. 25 people watch. Y'all don't know how the fuck hard that is on your mind. So in 2018, 2019, when I said I'm gonna go down to that radio station and do it again, I remember I inboxed Butterlove. I said, if I started a podcast, would you listen? I don't know if you remember that, Butterlove, but I remember. I inboxed her 2018, 2019 on Facebook. I said, if I started it back up, would you listen? And she said, of course I would. Yeah. And I was like, okay. I started it up, but I needed the discipline. The hardest part is you got to keep going with this shit. And I knew if I went straight to YouTube where it's free, after about 3 months of 7 niggas watching, I quit. So what I did was I went down to this station called Accelerated Radio. I went down to Accelerated Radio. It's owned by Kevin Nash on KGLH. And they were $65 a week. $65 a week. So that's anywhere from $260 to what? $325 a month? That was about where my car note was at the time, at the car I had at that time. I was paying just as much as my car note. I said, okay, if I'm gonna do this, if I pay, I know I'm not gonna, I don't fuck around with my money. If I pay, I know I'm gonna do it at that same time every week. I know I'm gonna do it at the same time every week. So in 2019, 18, somewhere around there, I started the D Brown Hour at Accelerated Radio. And true to form, I had 3 people watching on Facebook, and Butterlove was one of them. And every now and again, I didn't upload every episode to YouTube. That's why if you look at my YouTube channel, since I've been around for a long time, I didn't start consistently posting to YouTube until June 2020, during the pandemic. That's when I started taking YouTube serious. Before that, I would post like every 4 or 5 episodes from the D Brown Hour up on the YouTube. Then when I posted up on the YouTube, it's 8 views. And then on Facebook, I started getting up to 20 views at D Brown Hour. I'll be sweating because I'll be nervous as fuck. I'll be on I had to bring my iPad, and I would get on camera and I would look at the chat room on Facebook on my iPad. I'd be sweating my ass off because it was hot. And Larry Goodwell, who be in the chat room, that hoe ass nigga, he was my co-host from afar. He would call in and co-host from Houston. And then I'll have my man Mike Robertson and a few other people. And I would do this shit, and I paid $65 a week for a year and a half for 20 motherfuckers to watch me. I go back and look at that video up on YouTube, 42 people. Then I click the average view duration, 3 fucking minutes. That shit was hard. But whether it was 3 views or 43 views, Butter Love was always one of them. And that shit helped a whole lot. I was like, God damn, at least I'm gonna have 1, 2 people listening to a nigga. And then I started doing Craig Facts, but what really helped me out was that Judge Joe Brown interview. When I had that Judge Joe Brown interview, that hit over 100,000, and people started flooding to the channel. A gentleman don't ask anyone how much they make per week. You never ask a gentleman that. But I don't make shit on YouTube. The amount that YouTube pays is negligible. But I always remember that. Never ask a gentleman how much they make on anything. Only ghetto ass niggas talk about how much money they make, and it's a guarantee they're lying. That's for damn sure. If a nigga tell you how much he's making, he's lying. Remember that. Yeah, I appreciate that, Butter Love. Yeah, nah, like your encouragement, and you wouldn't, like, my wife always had my back. She had been telling me for years, all them years I was down, she had been telling me I need to do it. My wife never got off my back. So sometimes it could feel like, you just saying that. You know how life can be sometimes. So when it came to outside my home, Larry be like, D, the fuck is your problem? Larry would encourage me. Butter Love encouraged me. T Dynamite, she encouraged me. And it was a few other people who be catching my shows later. I don't even know if some of them still watch. But it was other people it was just a few people because it was already in me. But Craig Facts helped a lot. A lot of people started watching from Craig Facts. 5150 helped a whole lot. My first time on 5150, niggas started flooding to my channel. 5150 helped a whole lot. And somebody asked, how did I hook up with Dr. Randy Short? I became real cool with Brother Ron, and I'm still cool with Brother Ron. Ron Hurd, We All Be TV. I still watch his shadow. I love Ronald Hurd. Somehow me and Ronald Hurd, I started, when I first started watching YouTube in 2012, 2013, I found, 2014, I found Ronald Hurd's channel for them Dick Gregory interviews, Black Magic 363, Sa Netter, and Tariq Nasheed. Those were the first 4 channels, and 5150. And 5150. 5150 is what actually kept me coming back to YouTube. Like, especially because I would kind of play around 2014, but 2015, 5150 is what made me just like, okay, I knew I had to be on YouTube on Tuesday, 5150. And then Tariq's videos. And then after watching Tariq's videos, I would get suggested Professor Black Truth. And I watched Professor Black Truth, every one of his videos. And then I would see the Jason Black videos pop up, but I didn't really listen to him too much. I was like, this dude's voice pisses me off. Same thing, Professor Black Truth. Both of them voice pissed me off. Let me just be honest. I love them and I watch them both all the time now. When I first heard them, I was like, man, who's these testosterone drinking ass niggas? But Professor Black Truth would always say exactly what I had been thinking, but he brought voice to it. Jason Black, it took me a little longer to get in the groove with. Jason Black, I got in the groove with when I went to go, just before Race War came out. I went to go see it. I would listen to Jason Black every now and again. But 2016, when Jason Black did the thing about Trump, when he predicted Trump, that's what made me be like, okay, yeah, this nigga's voice is annoying, but he accurate than a motherfucker. He accurate than a motherfucker. So I gotta listen to this cat. I like people who teach me. I value people who teach, and Jason Black's a great teacher. Professor Black Truth is a great teacher. Tariq Nasheed is a great teacher. Brother Rich, Black Magic 363, he always brings on great teachers. When he talks himself, he don't talk much. But when we do talk, he says some dope shit, but he don't talk that much. But he's always bringing on great teachers. I value teachers. I extremely value teachers. Yeah, Jason Black may have a condescending tone, but I don't mean anything to me. I can understand how people can take it as condescending. I get it. To me, they just sound authoritative. And I'm fine with that. I think more black people need to be authoritative. You know, I think being humble is overrated. You gotta follow. Everybody ain't humble, and that's fine. Now, if you are a humble person, then be humble. But everybody ain't humble. So if you're not a humble person, I don't expect you to fake it for me. Some people may be humble in their real life, but in their public persona, they're bombastic. They're outgoing. They're pompous in their public persona. Whatever your public persona is, whatever persona makes you comfortable to be 100 with your truth, do that. That's just the way I see it. Whatever persona you need to put out there and be your public persona, do that. All I care about is you giving me the information or is you ain't? Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Is you giving me the information or is you trying to fuck me over? That's all I care about. Is you telling me the truth or is you just repeating what a white person wrote? Which one is it? You telling me the truth? I don't have anything to say about your delivery. I like Vicky Dillard. I don't listen to her consistently, but I still value her information. I think Vicky Dillard is really, when I listen to Vicky Dillard, she really speaks to the person who's fresh out of church. Because she has a church delivery, and that's a good thing. Because there's so many black people over the last 10, 15, 20 years that have left the church and leaving the church in droves. I don't think there's a better person to deliver that message than the Vicky Dillard to these people. Because she speaks in a language and a tone that they can understand. but she's way more advanced than church. So she can, the way that Vicky Diller delivers her speech, she can pull along people, especially if they're just coming out the church. Talk black to me. Yeah, that's that church shit. Talk black to me. That's that church call and answer. Vicky Diller dope with that shit. And everybody ain't gonna be your cup of tea. It's gonna be certain people who you be like, they cool, but I can't, Like, I love and respect the African Diaspora channel. And sometimes I'll just click like and click on the video so it gets a view and a like. But overall, that channel doesn't hold my interest. Just like for me, I be out here in the dark. Y'all see my fucking fat ass silhouette. It's some people who that bothers them. If I were on video, they probably watch me more. But they don't watch me as much because I be out here on my patio smoking weed and sirens be going by. I get it. I can't get mad at them because they can't follow me because everything ain't for everybody. Me personally, when I watch podcasts, I don't be looking at the screen. That shit, most of my time, I be driving listening to podcasts. I don't be seeing what's on the screen. And even when I watch them at home, I'll be listening to, especially when basketball season hit, I'm going to be listening to the Black Channel at 5 o'clock. Well, most of the time I'm not live because I'm always never in there. But sometimes I'll be live, but I'll be delayed. Like I'll probably turn it on at 6 and it started at 5. But I'm going to be listening to Jason Black while I'm watching the NBA Sunday night game. I don't really watch. So if I were a listener to what I do, I wouldn't give a fuck about me being out at nighttime in the dark smoking weed. Because it's a 99% chance I'm not looking at this nigga anyway. But some people follow along visually. And if you're the kind of person that follows along visually, when I do these late night talks, this ain't the thing for you. And I'm not going to sit there and call you out and call you a son of a bitch or whatever because, goddamn. I'm not going to sit there and talk shit to you because the way I'm getting down right now don't work for you. It just is what it is. Y'all know me, I'm a card reader. I'll read your cards and tell you exactly what's for you and what's not for you. That's another reason why I can't judge. I'll be reading people's cards. I'll be like, especially like when I read people who are like a goddamn 3 of hearts, I'll be like, ooh, I see, or a jack of spades. You immature, fake ass nigga. You want to get mad. You read somebody who's a jack of hearts, teenagers. They're either gonna be very lovable and you'll do anything for them, or they're gonna fuck you over because they so goddamn charming. A jack of hearts person, boy, shit. If they decide to get over on you, they will. Or if they have good energy, a certain energy about them, they'll just use that heart's personality to get what they need, but it ain't necessarily harming you. It's like when I read these cards, everybody's fucking different. Everybody got their own little thing, their own little hidden superpower that can get them what they want. Because every human being manipulates. You're born to manipulate. You first start manipulating when you cry. Crying is your first form of manipulation. I need milk. Wah, 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 wah. I can't say I need milk. So wah, wah, wah. I'm going to manipulate you to give me some attention. And you're going to realize inherently that I haven't eaten and drank milk in 4 hours. Wah, 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 wah. I'm awake now, mommy. I was asleep. I'm manipulating you to get off your ass, stop watching Maury Povich, and put your titty in my motherfucking mouth. Manipulation ain't a bad thing if you know how to use it. It's only bad when you use it to abuse others. But I'm actually, I've been on talking to y'all for 2 hours. I think it's time to put my AirPod Maxes on and listen to some music. Go into a music zone. You say you wish your sister could hear this? Yeah. You say your mom's dog had a different bark for us? Yeah. Yeah. You said you want me to read Joe Biden? I think I read him already. A part, Joe Biden's a king of diamonds. That's a card of the master businessman. Or is he king of hearts? I think he's king of diamonds. This last week was a king of diamonds week. And I have had one of the best weeks of my life. Oh, my wife told me to do this. I'm gonna do it with y'all right now. My wife was like, you need to make sure that you talk about your wins on your channel when you make these predictions. I'm like, you're right, I don't be doing that. First off, if y'all go back to the video I did last month on Tiffany Haddish and her whole situation, y'all heard me once say the video was trash and nasty. I ain't making no fucking excuse for her video nor her actions. But I told you it was a motherfucking shakedown, and all it was gonna take was some money and it's gonna be over. What happened last week? The case was dismissed. Prejudice. All it took was a bag. I told you niggas what that was about. Because I know the motherfucker who pled the case. I know Trizay. I don't know her, but I've been around. You know when you be around somebody? When I used to be around her at the comedy club, you ever be around somebody and you know you're around a slime ball? Yes. So everybody involved, from the person that was filing the lawsuit to the victim, not the kids. The kids are the victim. But between the mother and Tiffany Haddish, I was around during that time, and I told you niggas what was gonna happen, and that exact thing happened. So that's one. I said it. Two, I told y'all on here a couple weeks ago when we was talking about the Woman King, how Tashina Arnold was so dope, and I want to meet her. I told y'all that on this show, on my Woman King breakdown. Go look it up. I met her on Wednesday. It was one of the best moments of my motherfucking life. Easily one of the best moments of my life. I told y'all I hope Anderson .Paak come out with the Free Nationals. And he did. He came out with the Free Nationals. And I told y'all I want to do 5150 again. It was on one of my Q&As. I think it was last Saturday's Q&A. Somebody in the chat room talked about 5150. And I said, all right, man, you have a good one. And one of y'all in the chat room brought it up, and I said, man, I'd love to do 5150 again. And this past Tuesday, what happened? I did 5150 again. 3 things that I put out into the universe on this channel happened during this past King of Diamonds week. The King of Diamonds is a card of business. It's a card of you get what the fuck you want. So whatever you want, put it out there. Do not, I'm gonna say this before I close out tonight. Because this came up in a reading that I did earlier this week. I ain't putting nobody's business out there, none of that bullshit, because this is general information. Because when I read other people, I'm reading myself. And one thing about reading the cards is one thing, but when I read cards, I'm really just tapping into that universal field of consciousness that we all share. And I'm tapping into your consciousness. We all share a universal field of consciousness. They don't tell you that, but it's true. That's why you could be standing in line in the store and then you can feel someone staring at you, then you'll turn around and you'll see some old grimace face bitch staring at you. How did you know she was staring at you? Because you both are tapped into the same universal field of consciousness. How do you know bad news is about to happen 7 seconds before you get that call? Because you're tapped in that same, into the universal field of consciousness. We're all tapped into it, but most of us just don't believe it. That's all. What the fuck do you think Wi-Fi is, black people? If the brain is built, if the hard drive in the computer sends and receives information the same way your brain is, if your computer is built the same way the brain is, what the fuck do you think Wi-Fi is built like, is modeled after? If everything on the computer is modeled after your body, what do you think the internet and Wi-Fi is modeled after? Huh? Let's sit back and think for a moment. If you think this is too deep, or if you think this talk is me being a conspiracy theorist and whatever, I don't care. But for the rest of us who don't mind thinking and using our thinking caps, what do you think Wi-Fi is mimicked after? Why do you think you can think something and then you turn on Amazon and that thing that you was thinking is the first thing put up for you on sale? I'm like, how the fuck did Amazon know that I'm looking for a cooler? It's November. How did Amazon know I wanted a Yeti cooler? Huh? Now, for that, you're going to have to think for yourself. I'm not going to tell you what to think. I just want you to think. We are tapped into that. So when I read cards, I'm reading the card itself, but I'm tapping into you too, because every card has a wide range of meanings. A card can mean death. That same card can mean birth, rebirth. The same card that can mean paranoia can also read as calm, depending on the angle you're reading it from. The thing that makes my reading so accurate is I'm taking the energy from that card and I'm matching it with your energy to see what that card means for you. Because like my brother and my sister, they're the same. My brother and my sister are the exact same card, and they're completely different. Literally. My brother and my sister are completely different, but they share the same card. What makes my readings accurate for you is I'm tapping in to that universal frequency that you're tapped into, whether you're aware you tapped into it or not. You don't have to know your Wi-Fi is on for it to be on, right? Right? Difference is you can't turn yours off. Anyway, One of the things that be tripping me out when I do readings, and sometimes it'll something to come to me, and I'll be like, I don't want to say that. That's happened a few times. I mean, like, I don't want to say that. I gotta say it because that's what came to me. And they be like, how'd you know that? I be like, shit, I didn't want to say it. Shit. Anyway, why am I saying all this? Why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this because, you know, we as a people, we see what it is. And we listen to a lot of our people in media, our Jason Blacks, our Tariqs. We've been seeing what's been going on in Twitter Spaces this week for those of you on Twitter Spaces. We've been seeing the bullshit that goes along. And you get these people that come around and they get hot for a little bit and they think that people are supposed to follow them. It's like, no. The reason why people listen to the cats in the black media that we listen to is because we've had years and years and years and years of not really feeling what they said when they first say it, and then watching the shit happen, or picking up that book that they recommended, or go reading that newspaper article that they recommended, and you see that, oh, they're not bullshitting. Years and years and years of building equity, and you have a bunch of people who are tapped into that. He said, buy some properties in the metaverse. Hell yeah. Hey, Frank Green, Incense and Ashtrays is coming to the metaverse. I think I have one more step before my world is built. And I'm going to talk to the guys next week when we're going to start shooting. We're going to start shooting in October or November. I got music and comedy coming. Yeah. Yeah, Twitter's hella messy right now. I'm trying my best to stay out of it. I don't really got to try that hard, because I just come to YouTube and chill with y'all. Yeah, speaking of encouraging, on top of, but people who've also helped encourage me, people like Stars. Stars always encouraged me. When Stars showed up in Vegas, and she come around in the chat room and be that shit like that. Cause Star started watching my show real early, really early. I think Star started coming around when I had when my videos was getting like 200 views. I was like, oh shit, I'm getting like 300 views now. I remember when my videos first started hitting 1,000 views, I was like, shit. I'm on the way. I mean, I used to be like, man, if I could just get 50 people in my chat room, I go live every day. And that's when Star Wars came around. I appreciate that, Amir. Amir ain't all the way drunk yet. That's what's up. I still want to do that comedy show here in LA. I just been so busy with other stuff, man. And let me tell y'all why I haven't thrown my comedy show yet. Can I be honest with y'all? If I'm be completely 100, I'm scared motherfuckers won't come. That's why I haven't thrown it in LA. I'm scared I'm gonna get an 80-seater and 26 people gonna come. That's why I ain't thrown it. I'm like, man, if I get this 80-seater and 30 people come, I'm scared as fuck of that happening. That's really why I ain't pushed through. Yeah, Breeze Omega, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Tracy Brooks. And I really don't even have a reason to be scared. But I'm a king of club. The downside of the king of clubs, us clubs cards, we're mental. On one hand, I could think of some dope shit. On the other hand, I could think myself out of some dope shit just as fast. Probably 3 times faster. And I really don't have a reason to think that because, well, I kind of do. Most of my people from LA moved. But when I used to throw comedy shows, they used to sell out all the time. I think the smallest show I ever had when I threw shows was at the Comedy Union. The Comedy Union sat like 140. Like the least amount of people I ever had at a show was like, one show that I did had like 65 people. That was the smallest turnout I'd ever had at a show. And this is before I had any kind of YouTube profile. This is long before YouTube. But I think 65 people showed up. That was the smallest turnout I ever had. What's up, Deandra? Yeah. I really ain't got a reason to be scared. But you know how sometimes you make shit up in your head? That's what I did. Just being honest. I ain't perfect. Just because I wrote a motherfucking book don't mean I know it all. Shit. I'm trying to make it like you niggas. We all trying to make it. I get in my own way sometime. For real, for real. That's one thing I'm good at. Outthinking my motherfucking self. Nah, I'm an MC it myself. When I do my comedy shows, I host them. I like hosting. That's the only reason why I throw comedy shows. I like hosting. Hosting is the funnest spot to me. Get up there first, talk shit, have fun with the crowd, bring up my first comic, and then when I go up there again, I say some shit that I forgot, because I'm always going to forget. The only thing about comedy, you always forget to say something. You don't ever say everything you want to say. You always forgot a punchline, forgot a setup, forgot a something in the set. Forgot a whole bit, something. But when you host, whatever you forgot, you can go right back on stage and do that part the next time. I love doing that shit. And I like engaging with the crowd, like having fun. Like, yeah, that shit fun as fuck. Like, when I used to host my shows regularly, usually I would have like 160 people up in there. And I go up there first, and like when I do comedy, I improv. I have my set. Of course, I have certain set jokes that I do, certain punchlines. But I don't ever deliver them the same. I never deliver the same joke twice the same way. Because I improv. And then when I kind of like run out of shit to improv about, I improv my way into one of my jokes. So I don't even go into my jokes the same way twice, ever. I treat comedy the way I treat jazz. Life is jazz, ain't it? Life isn't hip hop. It's too formulated. You know? Life isn't even R&B. Partially it's R&B. In some ways it's hip hop. In some ways it is. But life is really jazz. Life it's improvisation. It's improv. It's improv. Miles Davis didn't rehearse. Miles Davis never played the song the same way twice. That's what life is about. Even when you faced with the same situation, you never do them the same way, the same time. Life is jazz. And that's how I approach my comedy. It's jazz. Although the structure of the joke may be the same, the structure may be a repeat, but everything in the middle, that's improvisation. And that's my pocket in stand-up comedy. That's what I meant. That's why I can't ever leave that bitch alone. I don't ever want to be, to get to the level of Corey Holcomb requires a dedication to that stage that I don't have, just being honest. I don't want to do comedy that much. To get what Corey Holcomb has, that's out of this world dedication and work. But I got what I got, you know what I mean? And what I got is dope. And I love that shit. And then I'll just bring up other comics. Like, if I could, what I really hope, whenever I do the show, I hope it's a weekend that I can get Freeze Love down. Whenever I do my show, I gotta get Freeze Love on it. Yeah. Yeah, man. I can't remember a best show, best night. I've been on stage so much. I'm a forward thinking dude. Like, I don't really, and that's part of my issue. I'm learning to get better at spending more time on my wins and focusing on my wins and you know, because for the most part, I'll be on to the next. I'll be forgetting shit. So I don't know when I've had my best night on stage. I don't remember. Quite honestly, I've had a lot of good nights. Yeah. I'm about to get the fuck up out of here. I've been here way too goddamn long. I'm about to put in these AirPod Maxes and listen to the dramatics. I'm gonna listen to some Bobby Hutchinson. Listen to some Donald Byrd, Roy Ayers, some Dizzy Gillespie, some Smokey Robinson, all that good shit. Might even listen to some Outkast too. I'm about to get that in. Oh yeah, Corey did call us a blank brothers. Like, Corey, nigga. All these levels of contraception out there. Ain't nobody trying to have no floating. Nah, I don't want to have no kids. I know that sounds selfish, but when you've dealt with kids as long as I have, to the level I have, I got thousands of seeds all across this city. So when I was done with that, I wanted to go back to living my life. Me and my wife go out having adventures. We was in wine country on Sunday. We was at the Hollywood Bowl on Wednesday. We was in Ojai and down PCH today. Nigga, you gonna be back at the Hollywood Bowl watching Wu-Tang and Nas on Tuesday? I chose a different path. I chose a different path. But everybody got their own path, and I respect everybody. Man, but I love that nigga Corey Holcomb, man. That nigga, he's funny as fuck, boy. A good person. Good person. He tells it like it is. You can never say he lying. Now, when he tell it like it is, he's telling it in the most awfully ignorant, funny, but goddamn kind of way. But he ain't lying. The nigga do not be lying. When she be like, God damn, nigga, did you have to say that? God damn. I know you ain't lying, nigga, but God damn. That's Corey. Yeah, well, respect to y'all. Respect to you, Tracy Books, Breeze Omega. Yeah, Star, I love Corey's dart delivery. It be like, man, I be like, this nigga, Corey, this nigga need Jesus. Matter of fact, I don't think Jesus would accept this nigga. Because when Corey said a side baby is 3/4 of a child, that is so true. But so sorry at the same time. Like, come on. Cause you first is thinking about the baby, but then when you thinking about how side babies are treated, you like, but damn, but you can't say nothing. What's up, Wally Gibson? I appreciate that Hotep Timbuktu. Yeah, man. And then when Corey said Jesus, I remember one time when the comedy union was open, this nigga Corey started to set off with, he said Jesus, this is like 2013, 14. I mean, he came and did some work at the comedy union. And Corey said, Jesus Christ was a side baby. And that nigga rocked the crowd. And from there, it only got worse. It's like, how do you start out in the basement of hell and go down from there? That's the genius behind Corey Holcomb's comedy. And I'm gonna tell you something, as a comedian, he takes the hardest route to get the laugh. Corey Holcomb's route to laughter is not easy. Because he's touching on something that hits an emotional string in people, that hurts people. And as comedy, usually that's why you see all these other comics, they get laughs, but they're touching on something that you already believe. They're going to dance or do a dance that you already like. They're going to say something about Beyonce or Jay-Z that you already agree with. And they're going to make you laugh basically by bringing up things you already agree with. This nigga Corey be like, man, Jesus Christ was a side baby. Most people don't, even though that's true, most people would never say that or co-sign anyone saying that. And that's how this nigga starts his jokes. And then it gets worse from there. He said, Mary pussy for the streets. Yeah, that shit was... What's up, Chris W? So that's what I'm like, man, to sit that close to watch a genius work, I'm thankful and I have forever gratitude. But yeah, going back to sports and black people, black men, if we defend our society, our children, our women, ourselves to the level we defend Michael Jordan's false illusionary greatest of all time status, it's not real. If Jordan was really the greatest, they would put his accomplishment next to Kareem's. They don't put Kareem's up there because Kareem isn't that guy. Jordan is. But I know that probably hurt some nigga that heard that right now. He probably mad at me right now. Ooh, if you mad at me right now for saying that, you who I'm speaking to. LeBron James is the greatest beneficiary of the league's marketing system of all time. They've allowed him to pick his own team for 13 years in a row now. And if anybody else in the NBA got to pick their own team like that, for that long, any of the other greats, if Charles Barkley got to pick his own team like that, if Dominique Wilkins got to pick his own team like that, them niggas would have had more championships than 4. And if me saying that pissed you off, you who the fuck I'm talking to. You defend black society to the level you ready to cuss me out for saying LeBron James recedes in the fourth quarter like his hairline. If that hurts your feelings, be the one to defend us to the level you're ready to defend him right now. And with that being said, there are no perfect messengers, only perfect messages. For those willing to pick up the game. Get my books, schedule a reading, all that good shit. I'm out.